Hey guys, so today is day 2 of adding polynomials. Again, I told you guys how important this unit is. So adding them, subtracting them, and multiplying them is going to be super, super important. This is a skill that you guys are going to need in geometry and algebra 2, especially in algebra 2. So you guys know the deal. Follow along with the video. I'll tell you guys, try a problem just to make sure we warm up. And at the end of it, of course, you'll have your class activity. All right, so make sure you guys copy down the title in your notes, and let's move on. All right. So again, the idea for this was basically you're adding two kinds of polynomials. So in this case, by the end of today, you should be a professional at something like, if I give you a trinomial, there's 3 terms plus a binomial. Again, how do we go through that process of adding those two polynomials together? Okay. Well, if you weren't here yesterday, these are the basic steps that we take. Number 1, you want to distribute the outside values. You're going to see a set of parentheses. Okay, so some polynomial plus some other, and we're going to have some number out here. And if we don't see it, it's technically an imaginary 1 that we multiply in, right? Same thing here. It's a positive, but positive what? Technically a 1 that we distributed in, unless I give you some other number that you multiply, right? All right, second thing is you want to put them in standard form. Again, standard form doesn't mean the biggest coefficient or constant. You're looking at the exponent. So you want to go something from like x to the 5th, then you look for all the x to the 4ths, and then you put all the x to the 3rds, and then you move on to gathering all your x to the 2nds, all your x's, and then all your constants, so just the whole numbers at the very end. That's what we call standard form. So I don't care about the number that sits up front. I'm worried about the powers and the degrees, putting them in standard form. Last thing is combine like terms. So what are like terms? Again, x squares, you can only combine x squares with other x squares. Okay, x's, you can only combine those with other x's. All right, and then of course your nice whole integer numbers, your constants, combine them with constants. So something like 3x squared and a minus 4x squared, I can combine those because they both have x to the 2nd power, and I just work with the coefficients. 3 minus 4 is negative 1x to the 2nd power. So those are basically the 3 steps, 3 skills that we need here. All right, so for example 1, I'll do the one on the left, and I want you guys to try the one on the right. So let's warm up here. So first things first, I'm going to put a 1 out in front and distribute that. Now again, we want to do that to get rid of our parentheses. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1x squared is 1x to the 2nd power. Same thing, let me get rid of these parentheses. Let me throw in a 1. 1 times x squared is positive 1x squared. Don't just leave it as x squared. Make sure you're careful with your signs. And then what's 1 times negative 1? Negative 1. Okay. Now I have this very large, polynomial. Let's put it in standard form before we combine like terms. X to the 2nd, let me write that one first. Cross it off so I don't, again, forget or accidentally double up. Plus another 1x to the 2nd. And then there's a positive 5, so we put plus 5. And lastly, a minus 1. Okay, which ones can I combine here? These guys are both x to the 2nd. 1x to the 2nd plus 1x to the 2nd is going to give me 2x to the 2nd power. Again, I only add the coefficients. The exponents, the powers stay the same. And then what about the other guys here? Well, let me use a different color here. 5 and minus 1 just gives us positive 4. And that's it. That would be our final answer right there. We circle that and we call it a day. All right, guys, pause the video here and try example, or the second one here on your own. All right, guys, so here is our solution for the second one that I had you guys write down. So first things first, right, I distribute the ones. Now again, yeah, I get it, right? It doesn't do much, so you copy it down. Now again, be careful. Why do we do this is to get rid of these parentheses, right? 1 times x squared, 1x squared. 1 times x is 1x. I like to add the ones just so I can see it. 1 times 4x squared is 4x squared. What's 1 times negative 4? Negative 4. Now there's 4 terms here. Now notice when I wrote them in standard form. X to the 2nd power, that one's right there. 4x to the 2nd power is right there. The next one would be the 1x, and lastly negative 4. But when I went to combine like terms, this one was a little bit awkward. I had x to the 2nd and x to the 2nd, so 1 plus 4 gave me 5x squared. But what about the 1x? That didn't have any other guy to combine with. Don't force it. Don't force it to combine it with the negative 4. This one has an x, this one doesn't. They're not like terms. All I have to do is just drag them down. Same thing with the negative 4. There's no other constant nice whole number that I can combine it with. So I drop them down. Don't force it if it doesn't have someone to combine with. Okay, so that should have been your solution. All right, guys, we're going to skip this one. We're going to jump over here to a trinomial plus a trinomial. So I'll do the one on the left right here with you guys, and then I'll let you guys try the one on the right. First things first, I'm going to throw the 1. 1 times 11 is 11. 1 times negative n squared is negative 1n squared. 1 times 13n is positive 13n. There's also another plus 1 here that I'm going to distribute. That gives me positive 12n squared. 1 times negative 4n squared is negative 4n squared. 1 times 3 is going to be positive 3. All right, now this one I have a bunch of terms here. I have an 11, negative 1n squared, 13n, positive 12n squared, negative 4n squared, and positive 3. It helps if you put them in these little baskets so you hold on to your sign and keep it all together. Again, keeping your work organized, guys, is really half the battle in these problems. So again, careful with your guys' writing. Okay, which is going to come first? The biggest exponent I see, there's a 2 here. I'm going to start off with 12n to the second. Okay, what's another one that I see? Negative 4n to the second. Oops, negative 4n to the second. Is there another n squared? Yep, there is. Negative 1n squared. Is there another n squared? Nope. I'm going to go up with 13, positive 13n. And then lastly, we have 11. That's a positive 11. So don't just put 11, put positive 11. And lastly, positive 3. Okay. Which ones can I combine? All right, I'm going to be able to combine all these 3 n squares. All right, so this time you got to be careful. There's 3 of them, n squared, n squared, n squared. What's 12 minus 4? That's 8. 8 minus 1 is going to be 7. That's 7n to the second power. Okay, so sometimes you can combine 3, 4, as long as they all have the same variable, same power. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. 13n, anything else you can combine it with? Nobody else has an n, so that's just going to say it's positive 13n. All right, and then the last one here is I can actually combine 11 and 13, which just gives us positive 14. All right, that right there, guys, is our final answer. Okay, I want you guys to pause the video, try the second one on the right. All right, let's go through the next one here. So I was rudely interrupted by my wife coming in here. All right, so let's go back. All right, let's pick red. So let's run through this one. How does this work? Let's throw 1 in front. 1 times negative x is going to be negative 1x. Again, throw in those 1s, they help out. What's 1 times 8x squared? That's going to be positive 8x squared. 1 times negative 14 is just negative 14. Don't forget that x. Again, throw in that positive 1. 1 times 6x, that's positive 6x. 1 times the 3x is positive 3x squared. 1 times the 13 is just positive 13. All right. Let's finish this up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put these terms in order here. X second comes first. All right, 3x to the second. Okay, I got no more x squared. Okay, so let's move on to negative 14x. I got a negative 1x. I have a positive 6x. So again, x squares, x's, and then lastly the positive 13. And again, cross them off as you guys go. It's just easier to keep track of your numbers. All right. Which ones can I combine? I see 2x squared, so I'm going to go ahead and combine those. 8x squared plus 3x squared is 11x squared. All right, the next one here is going to be x's. I got 3 of them actually this time. Negative 14, negative 1x, and positive 6. So negative 14 minus 1 is going to give us negative 15, plus the 6 is going to give us negative 9x. All right, let's see the last one. Ooh, positive 13. That's it. I can't do anything with that. Plus 13. All right, there we have it, guys. Let's move on. All right, I want to do this last one here. Last one with you guys before I let you guys get started on the class activity. Okay. So, ignore this one for a second. Now, again, we get in the habit of multiplying by 1, right? By 1, but make sure you guys analyze the problem beforehand. So for this one right here, we'll do this one together. Yeah, there's a 1. 1 times negative 12b to the third. Okay. Negative 12b to the third. What's negative 1 times negative 8? The next term here is just minus 8. What's 1 times positive 10b? It's positive 10b. Okay. But this next time around, I have a positive 2, so be careful. I only distribute to what's inside my parentheses. 2 times 3 is going to be 6, positive 6b to the third. Again, the third stays the same. 2 times the 10 here, the coefficient is going to be 20b to the second. And then 2 times my constant 3 here is going to be positive 6. All right, let me put these guys in little baskets here. Makes my life a little bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. You notice when you have a trinomial plus a trinomial, you typically end up with 6 terms right here at this moment. All right, let's put these guys in order. So first one, biggest exponent I see a 3 here and a 3 here. It's up to you. Again, some people like to put the negative 12, positive 6. It doesn't matter as long as we're worried about b to the third being the first one that comes up. So negative, whoa, what happened? Go back. All right, so sorry. So negative 12b to the third, cross that off, so don't count it again or forget about it, plus 6b to the third, positive 6b to the third. Any other thirds? Nope. All right, I go to the seconds now. Plus 20b to the second power. Okay. Any other b squares? Nope. Plus 10b. Okay. Plus 6. All right. And then minus 8. Hopefully that doesn't look like a b. All right. Let's go ahead and combine like terms. So let's start off with b to the third powers. There's a negative 12b to the third and a positive 6b to the third. So negative 12 plus 6 is going to give me negative 6b to the third power as my first term. Okay, let me move on to the next one here in green. B squared. Anything else that's a b squared? Nope. Positive 20b to the second power. So I can't combine it. Don't force it. Let's use blue. I got a positive 10b. There's no other things that have a b that's a 6. All right, careful with that. That's positive 10b. And then the last ones here that I can combine is a positive 6 and a minus 8. What's 6 minus 8? That is negative 2. And again, guys, my answer here is in standard form. It goes b third down to b to the seconds down to b's and just your constants. Again, I do expect you guys to give me every answer in standard form. That's why we include the step before. Again, 2 reasons. You're putting it in standard form, and it's also grouping your nice like terms right next to each other if there are any. All right, guys. So here's your class activity. You guys have 8 problems. All right, you guys know the deal. Once you're finished with these 8s, go check your answers with the sub. They should have the answer key on my desk. Again, double check with them. If everything's perfect, turn it into the inbox. If there's anything you need to fix, please go ahead and fix it. All right. I can't stress how important this unit is going to be. So practice, please. Once you finish, if you have missing assignments, yell me. Please work on that. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful 3-day weekend. I will see you guys on Tuesday.